Hello everyone, welcome back to Game Dev Night. This is episode 4 of our platform series, and today we're going to do checkpoints, spikes, and coins. This video I'm going to try and make it a little bit quicker because we have a lot to cover. So I'm just going to quickly tell you what we've done here in the background. So all I have is this texture rect, which you can just find off add child node control. So you can just type in up here, texture rect, and there it is. And I just dragged in the sprite like so, and I put it above so it's behind everything. So that's just this sprite. You'll find it in the folder in Discord, bgimage.png. That is just this beautiful little background image. And then in my tile map, I've made this new sprite sheet, which you'll also find in that folder over here. So you just drag it in and start painting with it using the tile map. I just did foreground and put the water in. So that blue you see is just water I put in. And then I did terrain, which is just the terrain. And then I did background, and I put these barrels in and these clouds. And yeah, that's it really. I'll hit play and show you how it looks quickly before we start. So I think it looks a lot nicer. Obviously, you don't have to do this. This is just so the tutorial is a little bit nicer to look at instead of it just being bland. And yeah, let's get into the tutorial. So first thing you want to do is on your player, we need a way for things to detect the player, right? So our spikes, our checkpoint, our coins need to know if the player's there. So add child node on the player, and we're going to do area 2D. This is used for detection and such. So we'll put that above so it's in the background so we don't always look at it. And we're going to turn off monitoring, so the player will not use this to detect things. We don't want that. We only want things to detect the player. So we'll add another child node and collision shape. And now we'll just give this a capsule, and we will adjust this. We're going to make it a little bit smaller than the player's capsule, because we don't want things to touch the player that shouldn't, like spikes and such, so they don't kill the player easily. And like so. Cool, so I just made it a bit smaller. You can make it as small or big as you want. And then we're going to make a new scene, and this is going to be our checkpoint. So we're going to rename this to checkpoint. We're going to give this a sprite 2D, which is the image, and let's just go into this folder. So episode 4 flag and number 1, drag it in like so. There's our flag. Now let's give this a shape. So again, area 2D, and turn off monitorable. We don't want things to detect this checkpoint, except if you want to make like bullets that can break the checkpoints, but you don't want to break people's checkpoints. But if you want to do that, go ahead. So it's only monitoring, so it's only looking for things. So if the player runs through, it'll detect that, but the player will not know it's there because the monitorable is turned off, so nothing can know this is here. Add child node, collision shape again, and we're going to make this in the player's favor, so it'll be easy to hit. So we're going to make it quite a bit bigger than the flag, maybe like so, and like so. This is for if the player jumps like just over it or against it in a hard level or something, he easily activates it. You don't want it to be frustrating to deal with for the player, because again, this is a game and it's for your players. It's not about how hard it is. So add child node, and we're going to do a animation now. So animator, and there we go, animation player. Cool. And we're going to make an animation now for when it's activated, right? So new animation, and we're going to call this activated. Cool. And now we need to make the animation for it. So as always, we just go add track, property track, sprite 2D, texture, and we've done this a few times now, but I'll just show again just at the start. You just drag in the values like so, insert key, just so you've done all these PNGs, and I'll get back to you when I've done mine. Cool. So I've dragged in all my images like so, and now I'm going to adjust the time to 0.8, so it lines up with the time like so, and if I press play, the animation works. And what I do is I hit looping, and now if I press play, cool, look at that, you've activated a flag. So I think that looks good. I'm going to hit pause and just stop it. Cool. And I'm going to hit save to save this scene, the checkpoint. So scenes, entities, and then here we have the player. So we'll make a new thing right here, new folder, and call this interactable. So things that'll actually do stuff to the player, and hit save. Cool, checkpoint done. I'm going to hit output just to minimize the animation screen. And now we need to make a script for the checkpoint. So we're going to hit plus right there, and you can see scenes interactable checkpoint.gd. Going to go into folder, and we're going to go up out of scenes into scripts, and in here we're going to make a new folder, interactable like so, and checkpoint.gd. Oh, now let's get into the logic for this thing. So first of all, we're going to make two booleans. So a bool var is spawn point. That could just be one word actually. Spawn point like so equals false. And to make this visible in our editor, we're going to do @export and Control S. So now if I click on my checkpoint, you can see I can toggle this. So if you want this to be the spawn point, just click that and there's your spawn point. And I'm going to have var activated equals false. And that just means if it's already activated, so it can't be hit twice. And now we're going to make a function activate, like so. And what we're going to do is we're going to do $ animation player, like so, dot play, and activated. Cool, right? And then we're going to do activated equals true. And there we go. For now, that's not all we have to do, but that's a start. And now, how can we make this checkpoint detect if the player's touched it? Here's where signals come into play. So if we click on this area 2D and click node, you can see here area entered, and it returns a area. So if we hit connect and connect it to the checkpoint, you see, so this is a signal. So if something comes into this area, it will detect it. And what do we need to do? We need to check if that is a player. So if area dot get parent, because it gets the area. So you see the player's area, it's a child of the player. So area dot get parent dot sorry, we don't need to do a dot, we just do is player. Capital actually is player. And for now we will just pass. And now we need to declare what the player is. So in player, we need to make this a class now. So class name player. Right? So if we go into our checkpoint, this error should go away. There we go. So it'll check if the area's parent is a player. So if the class name of the area is a player, then there you go. It's a player. So now we can go area dot, oh, sorry, we're not going to do anything yet. We will just do activate. Cool. So now this should just work. So if we go into level 1, 2D, and I drag in this, so we go down to scenes, interactables, and I drag in this checkpoint somewhere. Obviously we'll need one in spawn, right there. And we'll put one over here, or actually just over here, why not? Cool. So if I hit play now, see this one activates because obviously we spawned on it, so it instantly activates. And if I touch this one will activate as well. Cool. And now we go back to our script, and we need to make sure this can't activate twice, right? So is player and it is not activated. So and is just, think of it as English, sorry, not English. Don't think of it as coding. So it's checking for two things. If the parent is a player, so just normal English, is it a player? And is it not activated? Don't get confused by this. Don't let it scare you. It is just a little and check. Cool. So this means it can only be activated once. Nice. And now we need to actually assign this checkpoint to something, right? So we need something that keeps this value so we know where these checkpoints are. Now to do that, we're going to make an auto load script. So for this player, we're going to right click him and we're going to make, actually we're going to make another script in here. So in our scripts folder, we're going to make a new folder and call this core. So this will be for management stuff. And then here in core, we're going to make a new script. So new script game manager. Sorry. Yeah, game manager. Cool. Create. Cool. And double click it to open it up. And now we're going to go into project settings, auto load, press this little file right here, go into scripts, core, game manager, press add. Now this is something that is always running. If you hit play, it's going to be running no matter what scene it is in, and it'll always store the information that it's given. Right, we'll get into that in a second. We're just going to get some things done here. So we're going to go var current checkpoint. Cool. And it's just empty for now. And we can make it specifically take only checkpoints if you'd like. You can do this like so. Checkpoint. Cool. And we go into our checkpoint and ignore all these errors and just go class name checkpoint. Oh, I spelled that wrong. Spelled it wrong 50 times. So in game manager, so now it can only take checkpoints, so you can't accidentally pass to something else. Cool. And now we're going to make a function func respawn player. And obviously this is just going to respawn a player at the checkpoint. So we need a reference to the player now. So var player, cool, and we will just leave it empty for now. And again, we can do this so it can only take players if you'd like. as much safety as the more safety you set up for your project, the better, so you can't accidentally mess things up. So if current checkpoint, and again with the whole safety point, is not equal to null, right? You can do that if you'd like, some extra security, but we're going to do this in a way where there can't not be a checkpoint. So if current checkpoint is not equal to null, then we're going to do player dot position equals current checkpoint dot global position. That's all for now. So that's going to be our respawn for now. It's just going to teleport the player back when he dies, right? Just a simple little respawn system. And now we need to actually assign this checkpoint, of course, to the game manager. So in here in our checkpoint, we're going to go in the activate, we're going to go game manager dot checkpoint, current checkpoint equals self. So let me run over what we've done here. When it activates, it tells the game manager, hey, I am your current checkpoint, right? So it stores that value. So now when the player tries to respawn, it'll put the player at the current activated checkpoint's position. And this will automatically override the last checkpoint. So if you have a checkpoint activated already and you touch this one, it'll override that one in the game manager, and that'll be on your current checkpoint. Cool. Now, let's get into actually making this work. So we need a way for our player to die. So let's go into our player. We'll make a function just called die, right? In future, we will have one called take damage. Well, we'll have one later in this video for the spike system. So in here, let's make a function die. That's what I just like to call it. It's a very simple one. Die. We're just going to go game manager dot respawn player. So if the player dies, we're just going to respawn him instantly because it's a platformer. Now, obviously, you can do more, but for now, that's how it looks. And for now, we'll just have it so if the player falls out of the map, he dies. So after this movement check and our physics process, we will do if position dot y is, I think this is right. I think this means we're out of the map. Die. Let's just hit play and first check if that's right. I'm not 100% if that is right. Yes, it is right. But there is something I have done wrong here, so let me quickly check. Silly old me, we never set the player to the game manager. So in our player, we need to, in the ready function, so in here, func ready, yep, we need to do game manager dot player equals self. Cool, sorry about that, very simple little mistake. Gonna hit play, and now if I jump out of the map, teleports me back. Cool, so you just made a checkpoint system. If I touch this checkpoint, touch it, and we go back. And we are done with the checkpoint system. So now you have learned two very valuable and key things in Godot. That is autoload scripts and signals. So your checkpoint uses a signal, like so, and you have the autoload script, which is always running, and you can talk to it. So we have the game manager right here. Now let's get into the beautiful thing, which is spikes. Let's make the player die, shall we? That's going to be nice and easy. So we're going to hit new, 2D scene, and of course rename this to spike. Spikes, because there's multiple spikes on the spike. And we're going to give it a sprite 2D. And in inspector, we're going to drag in this spike right here. So spikes in the folder, drag it in like so. So what you want to do is you want to go into polygon you want to type in poly. So just POLE. And here you can make a collision polygon. So we can instead draw something instead of having some set shape. So you just start left clicking where you want to draw. Like so, left click, left click, left click. I'm not going to make my shape too complex just because it's unnecessary. And there we go. So this is now our collision shape instead of having a normal collision shape. Oh, we need to make that a child of an area 2D. Sorry, so area 2D and drag the collision shape in like so. Cool, our collision polygon. So in area 2D, again, we're going to turn off monitorable. We don't want things to know if it's there. We only want it to know if something comes into it. Then we're going to hit Control S to save, interactable, and spikes. Cool. And now we need to make a script for this thing. So again, we're going to hit this little plus sign over here to make a script. Hit the folder, up, go into scripts, interactable, and hit open and create. Cool. And now we just need to connect again, like the checkpoint, the signal. So node, area 2D, area entered, connect, spikes, connect. Cool. So if something touches it, and we're doing the exact same thing as the checkpoint, if area.getParent is player, is player. What are we going to do? We're going to go like so, area.getParent.die for now. And actually, yeah, we'll just leave it like that. We'll introduce health at another time. So area.getParent.die, and that should just work already. That easy. So we're going to level 1, and let's put these spikes into the game, shall we? So in interactable, and no, not script, sorry, in interactables over here, our scenes, take the spikes, and let's put them somewhere, shall we? Maybe over there. There are some spikes. Cool. We could put some spikes. Where else should we put some spikes? Maybe over here. Why not? That's an interesting little spot. And now if you hit play, we should just touch these spikes and die. So let's go and touch them. And there you go. You just made spikes. It's that easy. Touch it, spikes, and yeah, that is the benefit of using signals. It's just such little code you have to do. Nice. And now let's make these coins. Now the coins are going to be a little bit more complex again, but not too bad. So on our game manager, we need some more information. Now we can make another auto load script specifically for the players stuff, so the players currency and stuff. I personally just keep all that on my game manager because it is a single player game. But if you want to make your own auto load script called like player information and read from there, go ahead. But I'm just going to store my coins on the player. So here I will have another variable called var coins, like so. So that's just the player's currency. You can call it money if you want. And I'm going to make a signal in here, but we'll get back to it in a sec. So I'm going to go signal coins gained, or let's make it more accurate, gained coins. And this is going to pass a int. Now we'll get back to that in a minute. Let's make these coins. So in here, we're going to make a new 2D scene. We're going to call it coin. Cool. And we're just going to save it right now. Why not? So just hit Control S and then just click save. And then we want to head into our sprites again. And then here we're going to go to our coin sprite, right so. And there you can see, what are we going to do? We're going to make an animation. So go on our coin, type in sprite 2D, drag in coin 1, and again, area 2D, and it is monitorable is off. It is monitoring, so it's checking if something touches it. And add a child node and just give it a collision shape this time, not the collision polygon. We'll just use a collision shape. And let's just give it a circle. Why not? Make it nice and small. And yeah, it's a little bit offset. You can go into these 3 dots and turn off pixel snap and move it exactly where you want it to be, like so. But you don't have to do that, but I'll just do it for the sake of showing you, and then just go back in and turn on pixel snap. Cool. And now on our coin, we need an animation player. As always, animation player, sick, and we're going to make an animation, and we're just going to call this idle. Now, next video, we'll get into making these coins more fancy, but for now, it'll just look like this. Cool. And in here, again, we're going to go property track, sprite 2D, texture, and we're going to make these animations. So by default, we'll do the one that's currently active, dragon number 2. I'll just not cut out this part because it's very quick. Drag in all the parts like so. Hit looping, change the time to 0.3, hit play, and there you go. Nice little coin. Pause, and let's get into making this coin actually be pickupable. Gonna hit new script, go into folder. As always, this is the 3rd time we've done this. A script, interactable coin, create, and now we need to pass in this area 2D signal. As always, area 2D, area entered, connect coin, cool. And we're gonna get into the logic of, doing this coin. So we want to take the coin and we're gonna actually make a function on our game manager. Why not? Let's make a function on here. Function gain coins, and it's gonna take a int, which we'll just say coins gained. Cool. And we'll just pass for now. So in our coin, we will say game manager dot gain coins equals gain coins 1, like so. So you touch a coin and it gains 1 coin. What do we call it again? Gain coins, sorry. Gain coins, and there you go. So that'll just tell the game manager, hey, gain a coin. And in our game manager, we're going to actually emit a signal. So we're going to do emit signal, gain coins, and it is going to take, oh no, sorry, you need to do this in brackets like so. Gain coins, and we're going to pass the coins gained. And what we're going to do is at the top, we're going to do coins plus equals coins gained. So right now we don't need this signal, but we'll just do it for the next episode. So make sure you do this. Sorry, this needs a comma right there. And what this does is when the player gains a coin, so when this function happens, it'll emit a signal that he's gained coins, and it'll say how many coins have been gained. So next video we'll make something that listens for that signal and updates a UI that displays our coins. And you can also do other stuff like have enemies that listens for that signal, and maybe have like a loot goblin and something, and if the player gains 3 coins at once, the loot goblin will attack the player or something. Whatever, you can make some cool little things with it. Nice. Now let's go into our coin, and we obviously need this coin to destroy itself afterwards, so the player can't just pick it up again, so Q3. Nice. And I don't know if that's all we need. I think that is it. So let's go into 2D, and let's scroll down, and let's put some coins down, shall we? So I'll put a coin over here. Why not? I'm going to put on the move part like so, press on this coin. Control D, put some coins down. You want to nicely litter your game with lots of coins. That is a true platformer, just coins on coins. You could have some parts for jumping, so maybe like so. Like kind of tell the player, hey, you need to jump this way. Cool. And yeah, and maybe some coins like so as well. Why not? Nice. So you just made a bunch of coins. And now, oh, this is so nasty to look at. There's so many things. We're going to solve that. Add child node, node 2D. And we're just going to take all these coins. So click on one coin, shift click the other coin, drag it into the node 2D, close it, and now you can see much better. And we could just rename this to coin holder, like so actually, just so we're clear on what that is. And let's see if we get any errors. We might. Let's touch these coins, and yes, I already get an error. Oops. Another silly little mistake from me. We never declared what coins are. So you can either do equals 0 like so, or you can just do this and say int. And if you want to be more specific, you can say coins gained is also an int, just so you know what it is. And now if you hit play and we touch this, we won't get any errors. Beautiful. And now you might want to see what are the coins you've gained? How many do you have? And afterwards, we can also just do print coins. Why not? And now if we hit play and we minimize this, keep it nice and small, and I touch the coins, you can see it updates here in the chat. It prints out how many coins we have. And there you go. So you've made a nice little coin system. That is pretty much all so far. We need to do one last thing, which is go into our checkpoint, and we need to do func ready, like so, sorry. And we have to do if spawn point, then we're going to activate. I forgot to do that earlier. We just need to make it so if the game starts, if it is a spawn point, it sets it in the game manager, so we don't have to always put the player on a spawn point. So you can just have one by default where the player spawns. Cool. And on our coin, we need to make this animation play, but we are just going to do that in the editor. So animation player, current animation equals idle. Control S, we go into level 1. And now if we hit play, sorry, no, that's not how you do it. Not what you do. Let's just hit stop, go into our script, because we are going to have to control this better in future. So in here, we'll just do func ready, like so, and we're going to do $animation player dot play idle. And level 1, hit play. Nice. You just made a nice little game. We collect coins and such. Spike system, checkpoint, everything works. And I'll show you that the default checkpoint thing does work. So if I take this checkpoint, move it over here, you're going to infinitely die. And I hit spawn point like so, and I hit play, jump down, and you see I am just going to infinitely fall. Lovely. So that was just to show you that it does work. So we'll turn that on for spawn point. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. That is essentially it. Sorry about this video being a little bit longer. Can't really be helped. These are some complex systems we made. But I hope you guys learned quite a lot out of this. So next video, we'll make use of this coin system we made for the game manager. So this right here, this signal. And we will make UI that listens for that signal and updates to show the coins we have. And we'll make a nice animation for the coins that we picked up. So hope you guys are hyped for that. That video will come out soon as well. And yeah, you guys are essentially almost done with making a basic platformer. I mean, you already can make a basic platformer with just this. So yeah, feel free to make a nice little level for yourself with what we have right now. So use a tile map, make a nice level, put some spikes here and there and checkpoints, and yeah, just have some fun. That's all that matters really. Just make yourself a cool little system. And Endless Night, I have released it. It is in the link below. So if you want to check that out on itch, I did release a game. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye bye.